try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been.
Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your weekly daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the drop that is occurring right now on Bitcoin that I believe has much to do with the Terraform Labs settlement that we are currently experiencing right now. If you guys didn't know, Terraform Labs created something called the Terra Luna stablecoin. It was something called an algorithmic stablecoin. It was created many years ago. And in the summer of 2022, as the bear market was in full swing, the entire project completely collapsed, liquidating $40 billion of investor value. Anyone who was in the space at the time realizes will remember just how cataclysmic of a crash that truly was. And today, we are having a settlement. Do Kwon, the founder of Terraform Labs, and the bankrupt Terraform Labs are now going to be on the hook for $4.47 billion, $420 million in settlement, and $4.02 billion, I believe, in disgorgement. So we're going to be talking about that and how that is impacting Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market today. And we're also going to be talking about how Bitcoin will likely move into a major bull market, into the next phase, the next impulse wave of its movement to the upside over the next several weeks, although for the time being, it seems that that movement has been put on pause. Welcome to the stream. If you are new here, my name is Jeb McAfee. I've been working in the cryptocurrency space for roughly 7 years now. Here in about a month, it will be 7 years. And in those years, I have been learning how to build my wealth in the cryptocurrency space, and I've been teaching you guys how to build your wealth in the cryptocurrency space. It is my goal to help you guys become something that I call financially sovereign. That is being in a state of absolute supreme control and authority over your finances. Because you see, I think that there are only two ways that you can look at your money. Either you can look at your money as a master, or you can look at your money as a tool. And depending on the way you look at your financial picture, and depending on the way your financial picture is set up, will determine whether you are a slave or a master. You don't get to be friends with money. You either rule your money, or your money rules you. Jeb, that's a false dichotomy. Give me one good example where it's not. You're either a slave because you're in debt, or you're a master of your finances because you're investing. You're either a slave to chaos because you have no idea where your money is going, or you are the one that is in control because you have a budget and an investment plan, and you tell every dollar exactly where they ought to go. You are either stuck in a job that you hate, and you stay there because you are drowning and you have no choice, or you are following a career that you actually care about. I want to show you how to pick the better of the two options. Because you see, hard decisions create an easier life. Easy decisions create a harder life. And it's much harder to get to the finish line that you're looking for if you take the easy way out. I have taken the road less traveled by. And it has indeed made all the difference. And I want to show you exactly how to do that, which is why we're here today. We've got a lot to cover and not a lot of time to do it. So let's get started. We've got a bunch of people in chat already, almost 200 people tuning in right now. Adele Davis was the first in chat. Shout out to you. Anybody who is new here, let's see a hand emoji in chat. Very thankful for everybody who's tuning in lately. If you're new to the stream, if you're new to our content here, make sure to let us know in chat. I will give you specifically a shout out. Very, very excited for all of you guys who are here. Roll Hendricks, Kunky Bunks in chat. Jesus Lopez said, love from Spain. Blame the main on Spain. There you go. Who knows what that's a reference from? One House Production said, Canada loves you, Jeb. Well, thank you. I love Canada, too. My family, my in-laws are from the northern peninsula of Michigan. So they sound very Canadian. They sound very Canadian. Dino Dragon said, this guy has to be a preacher. Was it that obvious? Was it that obvious this quickly? Like, that's my whole thing, right? I like preach on finances. And some people don't like it, but that's okay. I'm going to teach you guys how to succeed, and I'm going to do it my way because that's what we're here for. Love you guys so much. LLC Crypto, of course, that's a bit of a joke on LLC, is in chat. Kevin Bahrani is in chat, said yo. Carter Pennington. Ashkiro Moxie said, hey, Jeb. Kevin said, back on board. Crypto Mini Bike in chat. Very excited for y'all to be here. Let's get started. U.S. settles for $4.4 billion with now bankrupt crypto firm Terraform Labs. The crypto firm was found liable for defrauding investors who lost nearly $40 billion when its tokens collapsed in 2022. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the historical snapshots on CoinMarketCap, and I'm going to show you just how big of a deal this was. Let's see a 1 in chat if you have joined the cryptocurrency space after September of 2022. Tell me if you joined the cryptocurrency space after September of 2022. We're going to go back to about, let's say, March the 6th of 2022. This is the day after I got married. So this is what the market looked like when not daddy, I was just talking to my son a lot this morning. When Jeb, that was kind of funny. When Jeb got married, this is what the market looked like. Bitcoin was starting to go into its bear market. And you don't have to look very far down to see this cryptocurrency. Number 7, it's called Terra. At the time, it had $29 billion worth of market capitalization. That was in the cryptocurrency. Then there was also Terra USD, which was the algorithmic stablecoin, which you can see right here at rank number 14. It was a very interesting project, and for a brief time, I think I actually used it for like a couple of days, and I was like, I don't know so much about this, so I ended up getting out of it. I was never mixed up in it, didn't lose any money in it, but a lot of people did. $13.7 billion in market cap on the stablecoin. We had $29 billion in market cap on the Terra project. Just a few months later, the entire market completely collapsed. If you look at Terra here, Terra Luna. This is actually Luna Classic, which is nonsense. Please don't buy that. But if we look at Luna over USDT, you can see, we go to regular chart. See how everything just kind of went straight down the pipes. And the reason for all of this occurring, this is actually something else, even still. Let's go to USD Terra. See if I can find it. I don't even know if it's going to be here anymore because they may have taken it down. UST. See if I can find it. UST. Not sure if it's going to be here. UST over USD. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here's the algorithmic stablecoin. You can see on Kraken, it was trading sideways for several months. At $1, it was pegged, and then boom, depegged. And essentially what happened is that there was a depeg that occurred, and so what a depeg is that the way a stablecoin works is that there's a backing, right? And so the issuer of the stablecoin adds or removes liquidity into and out of the market to keep the market at $1. And so the algorithmic stablecoin that was Terra would do that automatically. So you had the project Terra that was doing this automatically, and it was basically a way of almost farming yield. The people that held Terra, they were making money from the fact that Terra was managing the supply and demand, the supply of Terra UST, Terra, the US dollar stablecoin that Terra had. And so that it was a very genius idea. It was this whole brave new future of algorithmic stablecoins where we're not going to have to worry about proven reserves with Tether and with USDC and everything. And we can see how that turned out. Yeah, so about a $13 billion market cap stablecoin disappeared overnight. And we saw the exact same thing happen with Terra, the cryptocurrency. And so this was $40 billion that vanished. $40 billion that completely and utterly vanished. And so somebody had to pay for that. And that's where this guy, Do Kwon, comes in. So essentially what's happened here is the guy fled and he left the United States, and, you know, whole chase and everything. I'll make a movie about it. It's just, I'm not going to be able to explain it. We just got to get Michael Bay in here and make like a movie and just add a few explosions and it'll be pretty much on point. But anyway, so got chased around for a little bit, finally got arrested. He was in South Korea for a while, got extradited. Terraform Labs at this point has reached a $4.47 billion, with a B, not an M, a B, civil settlement with US SEC after being found liable by a jury for defrauding crypto investors who lost an estimated $40 billion when the Terra USD and Luna tokens collapsed in 2022. This was one of the biggest collapses in the history of the modern world. $40 billion being evaporated overnight was a big deal. And of course, we were seeing a lot going on at the time. Going back to the Bitcoin chart, just to kind of plot our history here, this occurred right around this time right here. Actually, it was this candlestick, I believe. You guys can fact check me on this, but I believe it was here in either May or it was here in June. I can't remember which one, but it was just a little shy over 2 years ago. It was one of these two candlesticks that this caused. And so when that happened, it was obvious we were obviously already in the depths of the bear market. The Russo-Ukrainian war had started back over here in February. So the Russo-Ukrainian war had started here. The S&P 500 was on just an absolute crash. Inflation was heating up. The bear market was very deep, and probably deeper than it would have been because of a lot of fundamental events, such as the collapse of Luna. Then, of course, we saw the collapse of FTX, which basically marked the end of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency bull market. By the way, this is one of the reasons that I never take cryptocurrencies as sponsorships. Ever. Never. We've been offered over $100,000 for a coin sponsorship. Never taken them. I have said no to multi-six-figure deals on coin sponsorships. There's a lot of money in it. I don't do it because I don't sell my freaking integrity. And this is part of the reason. Because these cryptocurrencies, every single one of them, except for Bitcoin, could have something hit the fan. We don't always know what's going to happen. This is the wild freaking West, guys. We haven't discovered the way that this all works yet. It can go south. So we don't take coin sponsorships, period, ever. Okay? Ever. And this is part of the reason. Now, the reason that this is important in this case is because this is kind of the end of the story. At least it seems to be the end of the story for now. $4.05 billion of disgorgement being paid out. And disgorgement is basically a company legally being obligated by a court to pay back profits that were generated illegally. So the $4.05 billion of disgorgement plus interest and a $420 million civil fine. Nice. Will be paid out. Here's the deal, though. They don't have any money because they're in Chapter 11 bankruptcy, so this will instead be treated as an unsecured claim in the Chapter 11 case where Terraform is liquidating. So, unfortunately, if you had money in Terraform Labs, in Terra, the lawsuit, the judgment reaches about $4 billion. There was about $40 billion that was lost. So, best case scenario, you might get back 10 cents on the dollar. Which sucks. It does, but there's... I mean, the money literally disappeared. It's just not there anymore because the entire market collapsed. It completely collapsed. And so the money literally just poofed into thin air. It's not like with FTX where there were actual assets that can be paid back. And a lot of the people that had money in FTX and in Mt. Gox are going to get paid back. With Terra, it literally evaporated overnight. And so if you had money in Terra, I'm very, very sorry for you. But I'm not sure there's going to be that much hope for you getting much back. And here's the other thing. This money is not going to be seen. When somebody is in Chapter 11 bankruptcy and you say, hey, you owe me money. Well, join the freaking club, man. You're in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They don't give you money because they don't have any money. I don't care what the court says. If somebody doesn't have money, they can't give you money because they don't got none. And only the moral authority, which is the United States Federal Reserve, is allowed to print money because we know how good they are at handling finances, right? Just because you are required to pay $4 billion doesn't mean you're going to, because we don't get to print money unless you're Terra, but see how that turned out, right? So, are you going to see any money back? Probably not. Is that some FUD? Yeah, because everybody who was sitting on their hands thinking, oh, I'm going to get my money back, they're probably thinking to themselves, crap. And so that brings us to today's technical analysis. Here's the thing. Bitcoin has been on a roller coaster of emotions relatively recently. We've had ups and downs and up and downs. There's been a lot of sporadic movements, very, very rapid movements. A lot of things have gone on. We originally crashed because people were worried about the CPI report. The CPI report came back and it was quite bullish. So yesterday, Bitcoin ended up rallying. We saw headline inflation drop by 0.1%, core inflation drop by 0.2%. So at 8:31 exactly, we rallied over $2,000 almost immediately. Donald Trump came out in favor of Bitcoin mining right around here. So this part of the rally was because of Donald Trump yesterday. This part of the rally yesterday was because of the CPI data report. And we were also rallying because the United States stock market had just broken an all-time high. We had just broken an all-time high, set a new all-time high on a candle wick at 54.46 up here on the S&P 500 index, Standard & Poor's 500. Problem is, S&P opened high this morning with high aspirations. We opened high at 54.21, rallied all the way up to a new nearly all-time high, basically a new all-time high yesterday. But then moving on into Thursday, that's not what happened. We opened high this morning at 54.40, and we've dropped. So that's led to some bearishness on Bitcoin. There was some bearishness coming in yesterday, and we've also seen a few other bearish news stories such as this one. And this is not bearish because he's actually, this is settled. This is bearish because people are now kind of having some closure that they're not getting their money back, which is very unfortunate, but it does happen to be the truth. The total judgment is $4.55 billion, including an $80 million civil fine for Quan. He agreed to be banned from crypto transactions and is required to transfer $204.3 million to Terraform's bankruptcy estate. Entry of this judgment would ensure the maximum return of funds to harmed investors and put Terraform out of business for good, the SEC said in a court filing. Thus, this proposed judgment is fair, reasonable, and in the public interest. They consented to the judgment. Their lawyers did not immediately respond for comment, etc., etc., etc. And so you might get some money back out of the bankruptcy estate. I don't think you're going to get much of it. You're probably going to get about 10 cents on the dollar or less. And security is a very important part of succeeding in the cryptocurrency space, which is why we take a more conservative approach than most people. I'm not out there trying to chase the next altcoin that's going to 500x, because even altcoins that are in the top 10 are not immune from collapsing in on themselves in a moment's notice. Terra was at one point, I think the highest it ever got was ranked number 6 on CoinMarketCap. It was a huge project. At one point, it had well over $50 billion of market capitalization between it and its stablecoin, and it looked like it was going to be the future. And it collapsed in a ball of flaming glory, which is why we have something called the Financial Sovereignty Way. And I want to teach you more about it. But one of the components of the Financial Sovereignty Way is ensuring that you are safe. And one of the things I want you guys to do to make sure you stay safe is go to nordvpn.com/Jeb. And the reason I want you to go there is because I want you to sign up for it. This is going to help to keep you safe. Here's the deal with NordVPN. If you sign up for NordVPN, you are going to be putting a force field around yourself while you browse online. And the way this works, NordVPN explains it the best here. NordVPN will hide your IP address, which is basically like your online social security number, right? You don't want that getting out there. That's a pretty serious piece of information that you do not want to get exposed. And it also stops online activity from being seen by the likes of cybercriminals and spying eyes like governments and banks that'll tell you where and when and how and what you can and cannot do on the internet. I stand for sovereignty. I want you to be sovereign over what you do online. I want you to be sovereign over your own finances. And one of the best ways to do that is to prevent yourself from getting hacked. I know a lot of people that are getting hacked. I just had a friend of ours call me 2 days ago saying, you know, I have this thing coming up and it says I have 0.23 Bitcoin in a wallet, but I just got to give them $250 and then they'll give me the rest. I was like, scam, red alert. That's a scam. You know, they're trying to scam everybody. You know, they tried to get, almost every single one of my family members that's actually very active online has been approached by fake crypto Jebs. There's like a bunch of me's out there running around. Apparently one night I like woke up in the middle of the night and went and got cloned because there's 1,000 of me running around out there. Everybody's trying to scam people in my name, which is terrible. But it's true. And so while NordVPN isn't going to stop you from sending cryptocurrency to a thief, it will stop you from being seen by said thief. It'll stop you from being targeted. And so you definitely ought to check it out. The link is in the description box down below. And most importantly, when you sign up for NordVPN, you'll be helping to support our channel and the mission that we have here to help you guys succeed financially. Let's read a little bit of chat and then we're going to do some TA on Bitcoin. We got a lot to cover today, so let's do it. Wreck the Bears in chat said Sol will follow Terra. Why? Who thinks that? Who thinks that Solana will follow Terra? It might. I don't know. It's not the same system. So it's not like it's going to depeg. What happened with Terra is that the stablecoin depegged. And when the stablecoin depegged, it caused the collapse of the actual Terra cryptocurrency because the reason that it was there no longer existed. So, you know, I'd love to hear you all's opinion on that. Morning, Jetty. Love you, brother. Thank you very much, Quinn. Love you guys. And I'm looking forward to you guys succeeding. Dixie is dropping Bitcoin more than a lawsuit. Yeah, so the Dixie is another component of this that we're going to talk about in a second. Let's see. Yeah. Good deal. When did CDC start to sponsor? Crypto.com? I assume that's who you're saying. We've had them on for about 2 months now. Great cryptocurrency exchange. We'll talk about them a little bit later. Economic Ninja channel thinks dollars are going to drop in value on his new video. Okay. I'm not sure who that is, but if they're over the age of 5, I'm sure they're smart enough to understand that the dollar is always going to drop in value. I'm not sure what you're meaning. Like, does he think it's about to like completely collapse? Because I don't think that's going to happen. The Economic Ninja. America is not ready for this. Dollar will fall soon. Yeah. So, here's the thing. The United States dollar is always going to be losing value. I read a post the other day, and it was talking about some of the richest people on the Titanic, and they were millionaires. It was funny. It was talking about how there were some millionaires on the Titanic, and you know, they would sooner die than take a lifeboat from a child. And so they stayed on the boat, and they went down with it, and they died. And so the women and the children could get on the lifeboats and survive, right? And said they were millionaires. And they said, the post said that one of the millionaires that was on the Titanic was rich enough. He was a millionaire, right? And he was rich enough to buy 30 Titanics just by being a millionaire. Just by being a millionaire. Now you know what you are if you're a millionaire. You own your house, it's paid for in cash, or it's almost paid off. You got a little bit of money in retirement, but honestly, you're not ready to retire yet. And you got a couple of used cars in the driveway. They're not new. They're 2, 3, 4 years old. They're pretty good shape, but one of them might be 10 years old for your son or whatever, your daughter that's, 15, 16. Right? But you're not rolling it. You ain't about to buy 30 luxury cruise liners. Of course the dollar's going to drop in value. The dollar's always dropping in value. They've literally jacked up the system to such a point that they have decided that the way that the government is going to keep the economic engine running is by printing more money. Now, here's the thing. Because some of you, if there's an economist watching, you're probably thinking, well, Jeb, the amount of money that is needed in the system has to increase because economic activity is growing. That's true. You do have to add more money into the space. You do have to add a little bit more, but you don't have to do it faster than the clip of inflation. You should not be adding 2, 3, 4, 5% of US dollars at the same time. Oh, wait a minute, Jeb. Wait a minute, Jeb. They don't do that. Really? What about the Fed balance sheet? The United States Federal Reserve balance sheet had almost $9.5 trillion on it, and well over $5 trillion of those dollars were added in 2 short years. It is absolutely insane what we are seeing with the inflation. And the reason that it's so important is because it drops the value of your dollar. And so we need to have some way of getting ahead of inflation, not just because of what's on the balance sheet, but also because of what we are seeing on, here we go, I found it. Not just because of what we're seeing on the balance sheet, but also because of just the overall printing of the actual currency that's going on. You can see the Fed's balance sheet, which is basically the purchasing and the borrowing, the purchasing of treasuries and mortgage-backed securities, was at $727 billion in 2003, which was a lot. It increased by over 1,000% in the next 20 years till 2022, up to $9 trillion. Now, the Fed is offloading its assets, which is going to hopefully slow down inflation. We've dropped off $1.813 trillion in mortgages and treasuries, mortgage-backed securities and treasuries, which is great, and this will help to slow down inflation. And this is one of the most rapid offloadings that we've ever seen in history. So the Fed's moving in a good direction here. But just to return to pre-pandemic levels, which were already elevated, the Fed will have to offload another $2.7 trillion, which is going to slow down economic growth, is going to slow down the growth of the economy. There's so many different factors here that we've got to pay attention to, and every single one of them, in some way, shape, or form, devalues the United States dollar. And so that's where Bitcoin comes in, and I think this will be a good transition for us to go into today's content of Bitcoin. Let's start off by talking about the Dixie. The Dollar Currency Index is an index that tracks the strength of the United States dollar against a basket of other world currencies. And so the Dixie is basically the measurement of the dollar against its competitors. It is basically a chart that shows the competitiveness of the United States dollar, right? So we're on the regular chart here, and we're looking at the last about 40 years. Actually, we can go. This chart goes all the way back to 1967. So you can see the United States dollar has been on an upswing ever since the 2008 financial crisis. We've been doing the United States dollar has been growing in this golden age of prosperity post 2008, which makes sense because we've remained the leader of the world economically, and we've also seen a lot of manufacturing coming into the United States under several presidencies, not just under Donald Trump's. And so there is an overall general uptrend on the dollar, largely because of the deglobalization movement that's going on right now. The United States is pulling out of almost every single region in some way, shape, or form, and moving much more into a state of influence rather than actual direct boots on the ground kind of combat and engagement. We did a lot of that in the 2000s. People got tired of it, and it actually wasn't even very good for the strength of the dollar from an economic standpoint. And so for the last 10 to 15 years, especially ever since the pandemic and especially ever since the Russo-Ukrainian war, the United States has been much more hands off. They've been much more, we're not getting directly involved in this. We'll just give you money and guns. And that's what we've seen with Ukraine against Russia. And so that has actually led to the strengthening of the United States dollar because we're not actually directly mixed up in a lot of these conflicts. And so, but on the other hand, that has also led to some of the destabilization of some other nations in the globe where 20 years ago we would have stepped in and actually said, nope, this is not, we're going to change this. We're going to just invade you and we're going to put the terrorists down. right? We're not doing a lot of that anymore. So anyway, the shorter term trend here is that the dollar has been bouncing and rallying over the last few days, ever since about Thursday, June the 6th. In the last 24 to 48 hours also, the Dixie has been rallying very rapidly. And that has definitely been a bearish factor that's been pushing the price of the Bitcoin market down. And so again, that leads us into where we are right now on Bitcoin, where Bitcoin has been kind of rocking around here in this range. What we're seeing is a right shoulder being formed. I can't tell you exactly when we're going to break bullish out of it, but I'm quite confident that we're going to see a major breakout in the next few weeks. We have seen a good bit of volatility in this range over the last several weeks, but we've not seen a confident breakout. We've seen Bitcoin trading above $66,000, below $72,000. And when we're going to actually break out still is yet to be determined. Depending on the way the news cycle goes, depending on how the news cycle goes, we could still see a break bullish coming relatively soon. But if we see some kind of huge, massive bearish story, whatever it may be, we could crash the price of Bitcoin and we could drop all the way down to $56,000 once again, or even lower. So what can we glean from this market right now, since there's so much kind of sideways action? Because that's what we're looking for. I'm not ever going to give you a guarantee. This was a guarantee of what I'm not ever going to give you a guarantee. I guarantee you this is where the market's going to go. What I am going to give you is I'm going to give you my perspective, and I'm going to give you as much information as I can for you about where the market is right now and where I think it's probably going to go next. And I also want to give you some ideas about how to take advantage of the market no matter which way it goes. Does that make sense? We're going to prepare ourselves for logical thought. If we have a prediction, we'll make it. If we have a certain degree of confidence, then we'll make that prediction. If not, then we won't, and we will just prepare for both outcomes. So, to start with, the first thing we have to do is to do the actual analysis. Again, basic analysis of this market is that we are looking at an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and that Bitcoin is trading sideways. That is the setting that we're in. Some days we're bullish, some days we're bearish. If you've seen our Daily Dose of Cryptocurrency series, you're kind of seeing that. One day Bitcoin looks like it's going up, one day it looks like it's going down. It's not that the technical analysis is wrong, it's that if the market is giving us these signals one day after the other, then look at this. $153,894 Bitcoin. This is a long-term prediction, so kind of ignore this. But we looked like we were going to crash down to 64,000. Next day it looked like Bitcoin was going to rally because everything's bullish. This is not yours truly's fault. This is yours truly trying to tell you, hey, look at this. The market is pushing down. Now the market is pushing up. It's switching directions. The market is flip-flopping back and forth, and so that should tell us something. That should tell us that the market is basically almost in like one gigantic spinning top. In fact, I think on the monthly chart, it actually looks like a spinning top. It does. 2 spinning tops in a row. We're not having a confirmed direction change. So the first thing that we have to ask, therefore, is what do we do to get that confirmation? The next levels to be looking at are $72,000 on the resistance, $66,000 on the support. Until we break one of those levels, Bitcoin is basically just stuck here in the middle. We are basically ranging, and the market is not going to give us a confirmed direction until that changes. So we're neither in an uptrend nor in a downtrend right now. And so we've got to keep that in mind and not look at the market looking for an uptrend and downtrend, because we know we're not going to see that until we break some certain levels. So with that in mind, that does simplify the technical analysis a little bit, because it's just not as much that we can do. The MACD is bearish right now, and the reason for that is because Bitcoin was rallying, but now it's actually kind of falling over. So we want to keep that in mind, that the MACD is not our friend at the moment. It is bearish because we've been correcting for the last week and a half. But again, if we break above $72,000, MACD will likely be bullish. If we break down below 64, then down below 66, then be looking for a $64,000 Bitcoin movement. Something to keep in mind here is that the $66,000 mark on Bitcoin does roughly line up with the LUX Algo trend catcher, and also with these bands right here, which, as you can see, you can turn them on in here. It's called the Smart Trail. It roughly lines up with the blue Smart Trail. So LUX Algo is calling this a bullish market, which makes sense because we're in one big bull flag following this uptrend, and that uptrend does give us a price target much higher, but we haven't broken out yet, so we need to kind of sit on our hands and wait. But we are technically in bullish territory for LUX Algo. We did hit the first take profit at 71,000. The next one is at 76, so there is a high likelihood that we could break up to 76, but before we do that, we've at least got to get back to 71. All right, looking on the weekly chart. We are under a sell signal on the weekly chart, but a buy signal could be coming relatively soon. A buy signal could be coming soon because if Bitcoin is able to stay here above the trend catcher at $66,000, which again is another major level of support for us, and we see Bitcoin break bullish just a little bit, it doesn't even have to go far, just up towards all-time high, then the buy signal will probably flash. Again, on the weekly chart, the take profit for that buy signal would probably be looking up towards $85,000 to $100,000. So overall, on every time frame, on every medium-term time frame, not necessarily the like 1 minute time frame or anything, I'm not talking about all the way down there, but on the medium-term time frames, we are looking at overall a bullish continuation pattern forming. On the weekly chart, we've got a big bull flag right here. On the daily chart, we've got a bull flag right here, right? The only issue is we haven't broken out of the bull flag on either time frame, so we don't get the luxury of saying that Bitcoin is in bullish territory yet. We need to actually see the breakout, and we have not seen the breakout yet because we've got to actually see the market start to rally. Ethereum is down 8% in the last 7 days. Binance down 15% in the last 7 days. Solana down 13.58% in the last 7 days. Dogecoin's down 11% in the last 7 days. Right? Chainlink down 10.76% in the last 7 days. Litecoin down 7.4% in the last 7 days. ICP down almost 20% in the last week. There are major corrections that are going on right now. Injective is doing well, but pretty much everything else is down. Dog with Hat is down. Athena's down 27%. Wormhole's down. WorldCoin's down. BitTensor's down. DXDY, the native exchange, is down. Starknet's down 21%. So it's a bearish time in the market, which is a reset. Here's the deal. I want you to remember something. Markets are cyclical. They've got a beat to them. Talked about beats before, right? You got to have a beat in your investment. Every Friday, I will buy $100 of Bitcoin, right? There's a beat. There's a beat in the market. It's musical. It's so cute. My daughter just turned 15 months old, day before yesterday. And she's back there, and she just goes like, she's just doing this, right? She's not even 1.5. She's back there going, you know, we're listening to like Luke Combs or some kind of music, some kind of country music or some kind of rock music or whatever. She's like, shit, wow, I wonder where she learned that from, right? I'm very musical, but she's back there just jamming. You know, she gets the beat. She's not exactly on time, but she's close. She's barely 1 year old. She can't talk. She can say mama, dada, and like, nah, like she can't talk, but she's got the beat. You know, she got the beat. You know, it's in us. We are designed to be creatures that are musical. And so the market follows that. The market follows beats. What's the point? The point is markets follow uptrends and downtrends on a beat. They track with a beat. And sometimes the market's up and sometimes the market's down. We're on a downbeat right now. You're playing guitar. You strum, right? Upstroke, downstroke. You know? A violin. Upstroke, downstroke. Up bow, down bow. You know, I play the violin. I play a little bit of guitar. Up bow, down bow, right? So we're on a down bow right now if you're a violinist. We're on a down strum right now if you're a guitarist. And so that is not a bad thing. It's necessary. If you're playing the violin, who's ever seen a violin? You know, like how it's actually played. You know, you've got almost like the paintbrush hand right here, right? I have played a lot of violin, so I'm quite familiar with this. But when you're playing a violin, you can't just go up forever. Your hand would be like over in Denver somewhere, right? You got to come down. Duh. You can't throw a ball up and expect it not to come back down. Otherwise, it's in an orbital trajectory and you're never going to see it again. It's the way the market works. So there's a beat to it. Right now, Bitcoin is in this kind of downtrending beat. And normally the downtrending beat on Bitcoin is about a 90-degree or greater angle. What I mean by that is this. I'm not even sure if there's I don't think there's this kind of tool that I'm looking for, a projection. This might be it. Yeah, that's not really what I'm looking for. Anyway, I guess I could use this. Here on the market, like this, you see the angle here. It's normally going to be greater than 90 degrees. This is about a 120-degree angle, right? This right here, this is about like a 120-degree angle or so. You see the angle, right? Bitcoin is correcting more so in time than in price because it rallied so freaking far. That's a good sign. We're not looking at a huge rally with a very acute drop. You see that? It's a top. You see the difference, right? I hope you see that. I'm going to draw it on a different chart so it's a little bit cleaner. You see the angle. That tells us that there's probably a lot more to come because we're not just seeing this blow off top the way we saw in these cases. This was telling us that there's not much more to go because it's this really acute, sharp angle. Hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you guys see this. Over here, we saw a drop that was a lot less acute. See that? More like a 90-degree angle. This kind of dictated and indicated that there was more to come, right? On these markets over here. At the uptrend. Oop, drew it wrong. Using this tool for the first time. See this uptrend? Much more wide angle. Indicates that there's a lot more bullishness to come. when you started getting into these angles that were very tight, like this, or like this, like smaller degrees, that was indicating more of the top is in. You see the difference, right? I zoom out. You can see the difference. At the tops of the market, you're seeing these much more acute angles. In the middle and beginning of the market, you're seeing these much more wide angles. The angle of the uptrend to the corrective movement. And so what we're seeing right now is Bitcoin is taking a correction, but it's taking mostly sideways action. It's not just falling through the floor like it has done in the past. No, it's trading sideways. And so we've got a lot of reason to believe that it's going to move to the upside soon. But on the shorter term time frames, when we're just looking at the actual price of the coin, we can get kind of stuck, zoomed in, paralysis of analysis style, because I'm going to be totally honest with you, there's just not much to look at down here on the hourly chart. There's not much going on. So what do we do with this? Well, based on what I just said, the angle of the market, and also 100 other factors, guys, you know there's dozens of these that we talk about. It's not just this. Based on everything that we can see, not just the angle of correction, based on everything that we can see, there's a lot of room to go in the bull market. That's what we think. That's what we think. And I'm tracking Bitcoin here because the altcoin is going to move a little bit differently. This is the leader of the space. With Bitcoin looking like this, there's a lot more room to run. So what do we do? Like I said, it's kind of difficult to tell you exactly when it's going to break out. I can tell you the levels. I can tell you the bull market's not over. What do? We dollar cost average. We say, I am going to follow the 6 laws of money. I'm going to choose to be financially sovereign. I'm going to live on less than I make. Because let me tell you something. If you live on more than you make, your net worth goes down every month. It does. I mean, right? You can try that for a while, but eventually it'll catch up with you. You can survive for a little while. I mean, eventually that's where you get to when you retire, right? And you're, in a way, you're kind of breaking that rule. I want you to have enough retirement and enough investments that your investments continue to grow even when you're living on them. That's my goal for you, so that you never break that law, but it happens. And people make it because they die before they run out of money. Not trying to be morbid, it's just the way it is. But eventually, if you live long enough and you live on more than you make, even if it's investment income, you're going to run out of money and you're going to go broke. I want you guys to not be in that position. Third law of money. You have a written plan for your money. It's called a budget in personal finance. It's called an investment plan in investment. Number 4, you get out of debt. Number 5, after you've gotten out of debt, not before, but after, you start saving and investing for the future. And after that, you're radically generous. And you're radically generous throughout the story. But as you build more wealth, you're able to be more generous. 10% of $100,000 is $10,000. 10% of $100 is $10. Tell me which one is greater. Right? We're doing basic math here, right? This is simple stuff. This is if you could pass the 6th grade FCAT, then you could pass what I'm doing here on technical analysis. So the way we do that, we get out of debt with a budget. After that, it's off to the races on investment, guys. That's all you gotta do. I'm not making you like get an underwater basket weaving degree. I'm not making you figure out how to do, I don't know, upside down table tennis. No, I just want you to get out of debt, have a budget, and then become an investor. I want you to become an investor. I just want you to do it the right way. Because if you're in debt and you don't have a budget and you have no idea where your money's going, then your investment is not going to do anything for you. You can't out-earn foolishness. Doesn't work that way. Get a budget. I can teach you how. We have financial coaching down below if you're interested. Get a budget and get out of debt. And then start investing. And the way you don't want to do this is start off buying Bitcoin every week. Every week. But Jeb, look at all these. But hang on a second. Look at all this. Look at this. There's hundreds of them. There's hundreds of them. What if I miss one? Oh my goodness, the fear of missing out is getting me. There's 2.4 million cryptocurrencies. I got to buy every single one of them. Never buy an asset or an investment that you do not understand or that you do not have the time or experience to manage. Ever. Ever. Because you have broken the first law of money, which is to be financially sovereign. So if you want to buy 57 coins, and you're not looking at any of them, and you have no idea what they do, and you don't have the experience to know when to sell them, you are not financially sovereign. You are financially foolish. And the reason I tell you that is because a lot of you guys have over 100 coins in your portfolio, and you don't have a clue what any of them do. Friends, when you buy the S&P 500, you've got to understand something. It is actively managed. You might not know what all the 500 companies do, but somebody does. And the S&P 500 is actively being... The companies are coming in and falling out of it. You're buying a range, right? So there's a rationale there. You need to understand the asset that you're in. If you're buying the S&P 500, you dang well ought to understand what's going on with the United States economy. I'm not saying you have to be an expert in it, but you at least need to know if something huge is going on. You at least need to know, man, this president's coming in and this president's going to do this, and this president's coming in, this president's going to do this. We just went to war, so this part of the S&P 500 is going to rally. We just had a semiconductor facility built in Ohio because I saw the ad, right? That's going to boost the tech sector, whatever. You have some idea of what's going on, because being sovereign requires being knowledgeable. Remember, wisdom. Financial sovereignty is just wisdom applied to finances. Wisdom is knowledge that leads to understanding, that leads to wisdom. I have the knowledge that the sun has ultraviolet radiation, so I understand that if I'm out in the sun for too long, my pasty white self that hails from Scotland is going to get burnt to a freaking crisp because my ancestors were under the clouds 24/7, and then I'm going to do the wise thing and put on sunscreen. I love being outside. Doesn't show, but I love being outside. But I know that the sun will burn me, so I understand that I should be careful, and I'm going to do the wise thing, and I'm going to cake myself in sunscreen, right? Or wear a hat or whatever. I know that Bitcoin is an asset that is a thermodynamically sound, secure store of value. It is superconducting. It's incredibly easy to transact anywhere of the world, borderless, permissionless, all this. It's got a few tens of millions of investors, worth $1.3 trillion. Great investment. I'm going to buy it. I know that, so I understand that buying it will be good for me, and I also understand, because I know, that the market has dropped 80% before, so since I understand that, I'm gonna maybe do the wise thing. I'm going to buy it when it's in the bear market. And so I have knowledge that allows me to be understanding, and I have knowledge and understanding that I can apply and use wisdom with. And so the way we're going to do that is run a dollar cost average every week. And you're thinking to yourself, Jeb, you said all of this just to tell me to dollar cost average? Yes, I did. You know why? Because I'm trying to convince you to stop overcomplicating it. People want to make this so freaking complicated. It's not. It is simple. Technical analysis gets complicated. What you need to do first is simple. Chasing yield in DeFi, that can get complicated. Dollar cost averaging, that's simple. Day trading, that's complicated. Dollar cost averaging, that's simple. Start there. Get out of debt, have a budget, and then invest, and do not start investing until you are sovereign over your wealth. Because it doesn't make any sense for a slave to be investing. Their job needs to be figuring out how to get away from the slavery, right? Let's just say you woke up one morning and you're an African American. It's 1850. Your job is to get out of Dodge, right? Get somewhere that you have actual agency over your body. That's what you're worried about. Let's say you woke up and it's 1941. You're Jewish. I'm trying to get to Britain. I don't care. I'm gone. I'm out of here. I'm not staying here. Right? Let's imagine you wake up and you're anybody in China in 1950 or in the Soviet Union in 1950. Like, you're literally anybody. You wake up, you're like, holy crap, I got to get out of here. You're not worried about investment. You're worried about getting out of slavery because they're going to kill you. Get out of debt and then become an investor. Do it the right order. Oh, I'm just going to sit here. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to buy my slave driver stock, right? No, yeah, I'm going to owe Bank of America $25,000. I'm going to go buy the S&P 500 that they're in. Yeah, right. I'm going to get ahead doing that. I'm the one making them their money. No. It's not a problem to buy things from people, but it is a problem to be in debt and to be a slave to your money. So, get out of debt, have a budget. Just about all of you can do that in under 2 years. Some of you, it's going to take longer. But if you just, rice and beans and rice it up, you can get out of debt very quickly. Most people can. Right? So get out of debt, have a budget, then invest. I will show you exactly how to do that, and you will be such a better investor when you're out of debt. The only kind of debt that I will not yell at you for being in when you become an investor is mortgage debt, but I want you to prioritize paying that sucker off in 5 to 7 years. Larmo said lecture time. Yep, lecture time. Here's my strategy. I get you guys in the door talking about crypto, and then I also talk about FinSoft. That's the deal. All right, let's read some chat. Before we do, guys, I want to let you know about one of our sponsors that really helps to support the channel, and that is Uphold. Guys, Uphold's Vault is an incredible technology that will benefit you guys if you sign up for it. Here's the deal. I'm just going to put this out here up front. $5 a month. Or $49.99 a year. That comes to about $4.20 or so, $4.25, whatever, every single month. You also get a free 30-day trial. Why did I tell you that first? Because you're probably going to look at this and say, oh, that's really cool. Oh my gosh, it costs money. No, that's not much. Listen, a lot of you guys have multi-tens of thousands of dollar portfolios. Some of you guys have over $100,000 in Bitcoin. I know some of you guys I know a guy that bought one of the people in my financial coaching bought $5 million of Bitcoin miners. Like, I know some of you guys are freaking loaded. You've got so much Bitcoin. I know people with hundreds of Bitcoin. $5 a month is nothing. And here's what you're going to get for $5 a month. The low price of $5 a month. You're going to get the #1 hardware wallet, #1 cold storage wallet, excuse me, not hardware wallet, but cold storage wallet in the entire game. And the way this works is that you have 2 keys, a 1 key and a 2 key. Should you lose one of them, Uphold's key can stand in the place of the one you lost and you can get back into your wallet. Isn't that great? If you lose a key, you got customer support. Pretty simple. You also have access to 24/7 instant trading on the Uphold exchange. So make sure to check out Uphold's vault with the link in the description box down below, because you're in control at all times. Even if you lose a key, you can get back into your wallet. That's a great piece of technology right there. All right. Let's read a little bit of chat, and then we're going to wrap it out. Jeb, you either have ETH maxis in your ranks. Lol. I probably do. I like Ethereum also. Let's see. Patient. Trust in the TA. That's right. Joe Kedgley donated $2. Said, please check the stock Wolf Mining if it'll go down. Wolf. Let's look at Terra Wolf. I can't recall. Was Terra Wolf was one of the ones that Donald Trump just met with the other day, wasn't it? I think they just met with Trump. Yeah, he did. So this is an interesting piece of news. I had a feeling this was going to happen. We talked about Bitcoin, Donald Trump talking about mining the other day, and he's been very bullish on mining recently. And he did. He met with TerraWolf. The coalition included representatives from Riot Platform, Marathon Digital Holdings, TerraWolf, Clean Spark, Core Scientific, Archon Energy, Chola Energy, and Exacore, some of the biggest Bitcoin miners in the game. And so the TerraWolf stock, since that announcement, has been rallying. It was already rallying quite a bit here in June, but it has obviously done very well ever since then, up 97%. TerraWolf is obviously the stock of a mining company. And so here's the thing that you got to be careful with mining companies. This is a very hard chart to want to invest in. It's very difficult. Rallied 1,200% in 400 days, and then just absolutely evaporated. Completely evaporated. This is an advanced chart to be trading. It's not a bad thing. You can make money here. But if you're new to the space, if you're new to investment, don't do this. So many people skip to, let's put it this way. Who's watched the new Top Gun? Top Gun Maverick. I want to see. I'm serious. Answer in chat. Tell me, have you seen the new Top Gun Maverick? Awesome movie. Awesome movie, right? Really cool movie. We watched it, 6 months ago or so. In Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise's character, they're saying, hey, we got to do this kind of strike to stop them from building this super weapon, right? Just classic action movie plot. Is kind of thin, but it's cool, right? It's just basically there's a plot so that we can do cool stuff in fighter jets, right? And so he does this move, and he goes up and then over, and he does all this stuff, and they're saying that's impossible, you can't do that, and all of his pilots in the simulator fail. In the simulator, they fail, and then Tom Cruise's character I'm not gonna spoil it, but the point is he does some stuff that is, everybody said was impossible. He's like, boom, I did it. I was like, whoa, how do you do that? He's like, I don't know, been doing this for 40 years, right? That's what you're trying to do when you're trying to trade Wolf and you just got into cryptocurrency. This is a complicated trade. You've got to be careful here because you're going to get burnt if you're not careful. You have to be careful. Here's the thing, though. You can't make money here. And the reason is because TerraWolf, as far as I know anyway, still has some pretty good fundamentals. I'd have to look into it. I don't look at it much. I'm not trading mining stocks right now. But I don't think they've just gone to the verge of bankruptcy ever since this movement here. I don't think that they've just completely shut down and gotten screwed over since this movement. So there is a chance here that TerraWolf could end up doing very well. Here's the other thing about TerraWolf that you've got to keep in mind too. It didn't actually start out as a mining company. It goes all the way back to 96. Bitcoin mining was not a thing back then. And it's been on this general downtrend ever since about 2014. Its stock has not really been has not done very well ever since it became a mining company, except for this one black swan. If you remember back to 8th grade math, this is what we call an outlier, right? The overall primary trend is a bearish one. This is on the linear chart. Logarithmic chart looks like this. Linear chart looks like that, right? It's an overall bearish trend. Overall, it's not a good trend. So, could it rally? Yes. Should you bet the farm on it? No. I think there is a good chance, especially if Donald Trump gets elected, that it could do very well. Because U.S. mining is probably going to perform very well. I do think you can make some money there. But just keep in mind the risk of investing in that is quite high. quite high. So shout out to you, Joke. Hope you are doing well. All right. Let's see. Inflation equals expansion of money supply. Yeah, so you do have to expand the money supply a little bit because of the inflation, if you will, the growth of the global economy. But you can't do too much of it. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it out here pretty soon. I do want to let you know about one of the sponsors of today's stream, which is Crypto.com. If you have not already signed up for Crypto.com, you absolutely should. It's a great exchange, guys. They've got over 100 million users worldwide, and they've got over 100 million users for a very good reason, because they are the world's premier crypto trading platform. There's a lot of ways you can make money here. You can make money with the actual recurring purchases, right? You can make money by buying the Bitcoin and buying the cryptocurrencies that you're looking for. But there's also on-chain staking. You can generate passive income by helping to secure the blockchain. So they do actually have staking here of all kinds, and some of the staking is up over 10%. Guys, like I said, we're going to be getting into real estate in the next few years is the plan. And so while but I don't do debt, so I'm going to be buying our real estate in cash. So it's going to take a little bit longer to save up the money than it would. I mean, we could go buy several rental properties right now if we took out a mortgage on them, but we're not doing that. So we're going to save up our money and put it into some stable coins, generating yield. And you can get up to 10% on Crypto.com. It's a great place to do that without having to chase DeFi and trying to chase yield and everything. Just very simply, you can come here to the Crypto Earn. You can generate up to 5% on Bitcoin as a private member, up to 7%. If you come to the company here, the products here, and you come over to some of the other, they moved it around, but the rewards, they moved it. They updated their user interface. But if you come to the rewards, then there are a lot of different ways that you can generate yield as well. When you're actually in the app on your phone, you can see that you can actually make up to about 10% on a lot of stable coins. So definitely something you ought to check out. The link's in the description box down below. So many ways that you can make money, and you can even do a lot of DeFi here. So explore the DeFi features, right? Your keys, your crypto. You can earn rebates on 25 plus tokens, including CRO, VVS, Tonic, Atom, and a host of stablecoins. Atom, a lot of times, has over 10% yield. So very, very, very bullish there. You can get access to NFTs. You got all your swaps. You can store everything. Obviously, you can do sending and everything. So a lot of things you can do here with Crypto.com. Great exchange. Make sure to check it out with the link in the description box down below. All right, we're going to read a little bit of chat, and then we're going to wrap it out because we are over time, but I just love talking to you guys. Born Brave. Please talk about ADA. We will. I'm going to probably have to leave that for another day just because we are running a little bit behind today. But we will talk about ADA. It has definitely been on a corrective movement over the last a couple of years, but over the last few weeks. All right. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's stream. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you guys tuning in tomorrow. And make sure also to check out Blowfin. The link for them is in the description box down below. This is another great exchange where you can get a lot of cool stuff. Blowfin's got a coin coming to it that you guys love. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but it's coming soon. And Blowfin's going to be the #1 place to get that coin. So check them out. Links down below for that too. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for our upload that'll be going up at 2 p.m. today. We're doing our daily dose of cryptocurrency live daily updates that I think you guys are really enjoying. So make sure to tune in for that. 2 p.m. every single weekday is the plan. We were a little bit late yesterday, but 2 p.m. is the actual upload window. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out soon. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.